In this video, we're going to learn some basic PHP. We'll start by focusing on variables, then we'll move towards conditional, so if and else statements, and in the next video, we'll focus on for loops and also arrays. So to start, let's open up Notepad++, and we will open some PHP tags, and then save the file inside of our website folder. And I'll call the file code.php. And now that it's saved, we can load this file by first starting our web browser and visiting it from the browser. So in case you haven't got your web server running, just open up command prompt, change directories into your website folder, and then php-s localhost on port 8080. Okay, we can visit the file by going into Google Chrome, typing localhost 8080, and then /code.php. Now we should see a blank page because our file is empty. So let's see what happens. Cool, blank page. Okay, so at least it wasn't a 404. We know that the file exists, and now we can start editing the code inside of it and seeing what it results as in the browser. So let's start. We'll start with variables. Now the way that we define a variable in PHP is with the dollar symbol. So basically you write the dollar symbol and then next to it you write the variable name, so X, and then an equals and whatever you want to set it equal to. Now you'll notice that I haven't specified the data type of this variable. PHP will automatically assign a data type based on what you're trying to store inside of that variable. Okay, so in this case I've put an integer here. So PHP will recognize X as an integer going forward. So we'll be able to add it with another number and so on and so on. Okay, now let's just see if we can print or show exactly what is stored inside the variable X. You would have seen this written before, but one way we can do that in PHP is using the command echo. And basically what that does is it just tells us exactly what's inside of this variable. Okay, so let's go echo $x. So hopefully PHP will tell us that there's a 10 inside of the X. And basically that's just going to place a 10 on the page. So after this section of PHP is compiled and executed, it's basically just going to be replaced with a 10. And that's what's going to be sent to Google Chrome, and that's what we'll see inside of the browser. Let's test it out. Cool, 10. Now, since PHP will have automatically assigned an integer data type to the variable x, we can perform mathematical operations. So for example, I could add 10 to it. We get 20, cool. And I can also use some brackets and times by, say, 100 afterwards. So we can do any normal mathematical calculation on that variable x because PHP recognizes it as an integer. Cool, 2000, totally worked. Now what's cool about this is that we can also overwrite the variable x with a data of a different type. So even though we've assigned x the variable 10 and PHP has declared it as an integer in the background, we can always override it. And for example, we could override it with a string. Now the data type of x is string. If we want to have a look, we go echo again. Hello, whoops, not hello, echo $x. And now in this case, we'll still see our 2000, but afterwards we've overwritten the variable x, and now it stores the word hello. And when we echo, we'll be echoing the word hello. There it is there. Now you'll notice that there's no space between what was echoed, and there's also no line break. Okay, and that's because we didn't put any. We basically said echo the answer of this and then echo the answer of that. So that's all that it did. It didn't put any spaces, it didn't put anything special. Now, if we want to, just very roughly, put each of our results on a new line, we just need to echo some HTML. And one rough way to do it is we could just say echo, and then we say put a BR in. Now what will happen is it'll echo the answer to this, 2000, then there'll be HTML written here, BR, which the browser will recognize and it'll render it as a new line. So it'll put whatever that's after it on a new line. Then it'll echo the hello. Let's see if that worked. There you go. If we look in the browser, let's have a look at our HTML. The first answer, the BR, and then our hello. Okay, so we can also echo we can also echo HTML, and the browser will pick up on it and render it in accordance with whatever we wrote. So BR means line break, it did a line break. Cool. Now that we have a string here, we can do things to the string. Like, of course, the first thing you'd want to do to a string is you'd want to append something to it or concatenate it with another string. And the way that you do it in PHP is with the dot operator. So we could go dot, and then we can add in whatever string that we want afterwards. So basically, $x is going to store the word hello, and then I'm going to concatenate or append to the end of it the word there. And you can notice that I've put a special space in between the T and the start of the string there. So we have a space between hello and there. Totally worked. There we go. Hello there. Now, that's basically it for variables. There are lots of different data types. You can have doubles and so on. But PHP will automatically figure out the typing of all of this stuff for us. Now, because of that, there are often problems that can occur when types get mixed together or something like that. But that can get a little bit complicated. And for this set of videos, I'm not going to focus on it too much. All right, so now we've got a variable, x, and maybe we want to check something about x. So we need to do some sort of an if condition. The way we would do an if condition is literally by writing if. The same as in pretty much every programming language. You write if, and then similar to Java and JavaScript, you put some round brackets and some curly brackets. And inside of the round brackets, you put in your condition. So in this case, I'm going to say if x is equal to hello, then what I want it to do is I want it to echo hi. Okay, now to make it all neat, I might just make sure that I put a BR before this so that the next line will be on a new line. So hopefully if we see that the x is hello, it should show us the word hi afterwards. Now in this case, it should be true because we set x to be hello. So when we go to check this, it should be true, so we should see hi. Let's have a look. Hi. Works. Let's just check it failing. I might change x to be hellos. Let's see if it works now. So this condition should be false, so we shouldn't see the hi anymore. Okay, the hi is gone. It works. So this is just the standard conditional in PHP. It's the same as in Java and JavaScript. Very straightforward. Now the else is the same. You just put an else, some curly brackets, and then echo whatever you want to happen otherwise. So we could just write not hello there. And now you can see that since x is not just hello, we should see not hello being echoed. And it worked. Okay, so conditionals are very simple in PHP. We just have to make sure we always use dollar signs when we refer to variables. Because if we remove a dollar sign, PHP won't see that as a variable and it won't recognize that that x is hellos. All right, now unlike JavaScript and Java, we can't do things like $x.length or something like that. The variables in PHP are not objects, so this is not a string object, so there are no methods associated to it. If we want to do something like find the length of this string, or maybe search for a character or a substring within that string, we have to call other methods. So one example would be the string length method. Okay, If the string length of x is greater than 5, for example, we could make it echo it's longer than 5. Okay, so if we want to do special operations to strings or variables in general, we'll typically have to call one of PHP's other methods. And there's heaps of documentation about all of these methods all over the internet, but in particular, PHP's main documentation website usually has everything you need. So in this case, what's the length of the string? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is longer than 5, so we should see this message. Now, just to make this look pretty on the page, I'll put a BR beforehand, just so it's on a new line. There it is. Okay, so that covers variables and conditionals. In the next video, we'll focus on loops and also arrays in PHP.